Good morning, my name is Carlos León Manterola. This is GACO2. I'm in the 5th grade of pre-CPE and this is my GAC presentation. Today I will be talking about insecurity in Mexico. I think it's a very important topic that happens here in Mexico. So yes, can you change teacher? So what is it and why did I choose this? No? So it is the equality of not being safe or strong. Some examples are harassment, theft, physical and psycho-emotional violence, death. And Mexico is one of the most insecure countries, and this is why I chose this. I think it's very important to show everyone how bad the situation is and how can we come together to find a solution. So corruption, poverty, drug cartels and murders are also involved in insecurity here in Mexico. Initially drug cartels, because as many people know, the drug cartels in Mexico have evolved a lot and have a lot of power here in Mexico. So the crime it's getting bigger and bigger. You choose the slide, please. So as you can see in this image, this is a geographic distribution of how insecure each state is, from red to green. As you can see, Baja California is one of the most insecure states. Sonora, even Ciudad de Mexico, which we are living in. So yeah, as you can see, many of these are very bad, in a very bad situation, and it's something that we haven't put our work in, and this is basically the result of us being irresponsible and the police not doing their own jobs. We change the insecurity and corruption. Corruption is one of the principal problems in our country, as I mentioned before, initially because it has taken a lot of power and it's going to a point that we can't stop it anymore. So, or at least it's going to be very hard to. 80% of corruption cases go unpunished. As I mentioned before, police isn't doing their job, so many cases, most of them, go unpunished, so many people think that they can go and do crimes and misbehave and nothing will happen. Yeah, that's true. Just 2% of the corruption cases got punished. So yeah, that is not showing a good example for society, and people think they can do whatever they want because police won't be there to do something about it. Corruption can lead to violence and insecurity. And yes, corruption is not only just stealing stuff from banks or money or that kind of things. It's also raping, punching, mistreating, and many cases like that. In this case, I can relate to feminism as well, which is a case that has been happening a lot in Mexico, which is how people are mistreating women. And yeah, this is where I can relate to violence. Women are getting raped, are getting punched, are getting mistreated. And yeah, this is one very important problem about insecurity and corruption. Can you change slide? The effects in corruption aren't only just how bad the society is going. It's also getting to a point of economic loss, unequal society, poor society without opportunities. Poverty and the lack of opportunities lead to insecurity. And many people will think, why an unequal society? It's because, as I mentioned before, most of the cases go unpunished. So people start thinking that they can do whatever they want, and this is where society goes unequal. Many people are doing the right thing and many people are doing the wrong thing. And it's getting to a point that it's not balanced, so it's not good for society. And as I mentioned before, this is a very important one. Poverty and lack of opportunity lead to insecurity. Why? Because many of the people in Mexico that have no jobs, they have no option but to join cartel groups, drug stuff and all of that. And this is where they, desperate for money, they get to criminal jobs where they lead to insecurity, they become very bad people, and yeah, it leads to insecurity. Can you change slide? Statistics of deaths because of insecurity. 2019 has been recorded as one of the most dangerous years in history of Mexico. I think 2018 is the one that gets near to it. There was an average of 102.6 murders a day. The states with the highest homicide levels are Baja California, as I mentioned before, Chihuahua, Guanajuato, and the state of Mexico and Jalisco. These states, as I mentioned before as well, are where many drug cartels have empowered themselves, and this is why our government can control those states. That's why they go with a lot of homicide levels. Statistics of raping and physical abuse. This I go back to feminism. In Mexico, sexual crimes against women grew 20% during the first half of 2019, going back to 2019 again, very dangerous year. Compared to the same period last year, according to the federal government's estimates, public ministries have opened at least 22,749 investigation folders for a sexual offense against women this year. This is very important. As you can see, it's a very big number, but only 2% of those will go punished. This is why society is very wrong. Conclusion. In conclusion, we can say that in the past year of 2019, the statistics show a massive increase in robberies, sexual crimes, murders, and homicides, some of them due to organized crime, as I mentioned before. This is very important to see. Many people are not looking at the numbers, they just think it's a bad year, but many people don't realize how bad it was. 2019 has been recorded as one of the worst crime years in history, and as long as we don't raise our voice or do something about it, people will start doing what they want again, and this will go on and on and on. This has definitely put the country against the wall because of all of the problems the government is having, because they can't control all the crimes that are going nowadays in Mexico. This is also very important. The government has to take control of all these crimes, but honestly, there's not just one person that can do this. We all as a society need to help and raise our voices to end this problem, not just the government, and also Mexico, but even more because they have expected the numbers to increase that much in just 6 months to 12 months, which is very impressive. Well, and that was it. Is there any question? Yes.
So recently, in fact yesterday, there was a case where a 7-year-old got raped and killed and abandoned. The complaint about her disappearance had been filed 6 days prior, but it wasn't until they found her body that it actually got looked into, and they actually saw the recordings of a woman taking her from her school. Do you think the solution? Well, clearly it's most likely going to be fixed. But do you think the solution is that we blow up every single case of corruption like this one, where somebody in the government is not doing their job, but that there has to be a deeper, more significant change?
I think both of them. I think we do have to go for a change as a society, as I mentioned before. But I think police has to go for every case they can, and showing the society that they are there, trying to do their jobs and showing themselves up, not just hiding and not doing anything, punishing every single rapist in this case, and yeah, doing what they know to do, which is defend ourselves. Is there any other question? No? Well,
Yes.
thank you for your attention.
Okay.